I'm sitting here this morning with Steve Whyte from AASA. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about today's Viola Winton 300 2025. Steve, you've been around quite a while, haven't you, around the 300? Tell us what it was like back in the day when it
Uh,
started.
well, yeah, thanks, thanks, Tammie. Yes, I have been around a little while, unfortunately, but look, this event started in 1985. Its roots were born in 1985, and I was a young kid with hanging around. Certainly, my brother was racing in those days, and production cars was a very prominent part of Australian motorsport. If you like, it was the second tier after what was then in those days Group A. So Winton had a very prestigious race, the Winton 300 in 1985, and it was where all of the current day professional drivers would come and co-drive, and so all the stars would come along and co-drive in things like Mitsubishi Starions and Holden Commodores and things like that. So it was really quite, if you like, the start of a bit of a tradition of long distance races that weren't necessarily Bathurst. And in those days, well, I was a kid, so I spent a lot of time here following my brother along and helping out and washing wheels and things like that. So right through to the late 80s and early 90s, the event was very prominent on the calendar for Australian motorsport. So for here at Winton, Winton ended up sort of being the home of production cars really by that event and by default. They ran a couple of rounds of the National Series here as well, but that particular event was the Blue Ribbon event. So it unfortunately went away from the sport in the sort of mid to late 90s, and then it was brought back. It was actually brought back to Winton, and it was re-established by the guys and girls here at Winton and AASA, but certainly very prominent was Matthew Ronk and Adam Ronk. They were very prominent in getting the event going again, and subsequently, unfortunately, after the loss of their father, Michael Ronk, who was a very important person here at Winton for many, many years, and somebody that we certainly still use his theories and philosophies on what we do now. They named the now Michael J. Ronk Trophy to the winner, which has been given since 2013, which is beside us here. And look, there's a lot of prestige in that. The event itself has taken some time. It came back with a vengeance in those days, and they had a couple of grids. Then it had a bit of a lull, and then it's come back again. So look, the last 2 years we've had a capacity grid of 40 cars. It's pretty exciting to see all of those cars come from right around the country. It's naturally a two-driver event, so it involves two drivers, the teams for refueling. It's a long race. It's a strategic race. But Winton's perfectly suited, and if you like, all of the competitors get an even money chance to have a good result. And look, it's actually exciting to watch. I mean, it was not last year, the year before, one of the cars broke down on the last lap that was leading. So I mean, the thing is that it's not over till it's over, and long distance races teach you to drive well and have a good team environment, but most definitely excite the punters and all of us that want to watch it and get excited by it. So from a AASA perspective, it's another fantastic event that we fortunately are able to be involved in and sanction. And certainly from Winton Motor Raceway's perspective, it's a very proud event to have on our calendar. So all in all, the Winton family really support it, and we love it. Obviously, we've got some fantastic sponsorship and some fantastic support. Charlie Viola's from Viola Financial Services. Hopefully, I've got that right. Has graciously sponsored the event the last 2 years through its growth. So he's absolutely been certainly an important part. John Boston, another person that works hard behind the scenes, and then obviously our team here that all put in to get it going. But look, the competitors are what make the event. We're so gracious for them to come our way. We haven't put the warmest weather on this weekend, but we're getting there. So, and I'm sure they're not worried about it when they're in their car. It's the teams that cop with the coolness. But look, the event's steeped in history. And I think one thing that we really need to focus on is the fact that in motorsport and in general in sport in Australia, I think we're getting better at recognising history, and we certainly see that history is a really important part of our life. And what we do here at Winton is all about recognising the history and what people did in the past to provide such a good thing for us. So, the existence of AASA is because people in the late 80s, early 90s, and so on had some real foresight and said, look, we need to do something for the competitors and the tracks. So it's why we exist. So yeah, really proud moment for us, and hopefully there's many, many more to come.
Yes, and speaking of the drivers, I think it's going to be a great weekend this weekend. You were talking about how we had the old supercar drivers used to come over and compete. We've got a lot of TA2 drivers this weekend and a lot of big names that are competing with some up and coming rookies.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you're absolutely spot on. Again, early days it was the supercar semi-professional people that were co-driving, and now you've got what we certainly see as a breeding ground for fantastic competitors is TA2. So yeah, we've got some young talents in there. We've got a great combination with Brad Gardner and Tabitha Ambrose. We've got Josh Haynes in there, so he's the current TA2 champion. You've got Kiara Zavatakis, that's obviously an up-and-comer. And look, those sorts of people coming to this event, again, we know that it gives them also some really good grounding for their sport. But the fact that they've been able to come out of their busy schedules and jump into a car for this event shows how prestigious it is and shows how important it is. And it also gives everyone a bit of a thrill that, hey, there's some really well-known people that are competing in this. So it gives it some real credibility, which is great.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time. And as you heard, it's going to be an massive weekend. We've got a full 40 car grid. If you want to watch it, you'll be able to watch it tomorrow afternoon on Blendline TV for free. So make sure you catch the entire race.